Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Tuesday, March 4th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith. Big Tuesday slate as usual, a 10 games on tap in the NHL tonight. We'll get to those in just a moment. But first, we look back upon a Monday night with 6 games, a little bit more than usual on a Monday, which was very nice to see. It started with a very entertaining game between the Ottawa Senators and Washington Capitals. Washington got the jump on Ottawa, a 3-0 lead at one point. But credit to the Ottawa Senators. I mean, battled back. In fact, all the way back to get that game tied. It was Brady Tkachuk with the extra attacker tying the game at 4. And I went bold with Ottawa as my best bet yesterday on the show, and, hoping like hell they could find a way to complete the comeback. And, man, they had an opportunity in overtime with the power play, but you got to give Washington credit and Logan Thompson as well. Thwarted Ottawa with that man advantage opportunity in overtime, and Washington gets the win in the shootout. 5-4, they survive a game effort by the Ottawa Senators to come back and make that a game. So Washington snaps their losing streak at 3. Very important point picked up by the Ottawa Senators, obviously, who need every point they can get. And the highlight for me of that game is we did cash the team total over 2.5 with Ottawa. I do want to mention that. So it was actually a split for me, even though the best bet money line did not come through. We got the team total over. It's now 10 straight games now with Washington that they've given up at least 3 goals. So that's something to monitor moving forward. And, of course, they gave up 4 last night. The highlight for me was our guy, Parlay Pinto. Shane Pinto cashing in with a bargain bin special, plus 350. No question, that was great to see that. And he got 2 goals last night. So he was on hat-trick watch at one point. So no doubt about it, it was good to see that. He's been terrific in these 2 games since he's returned from injury offensively. So a big point for Ottawa. That's actually a feel-good point for the Ottawa Senators, even though they lost that game in a shootout. The Rangers just dummy the Islanders 4-0. And thanks to Patrick Waugh, he had the Rangers team total over 3.5. He helped you out with the net goalie being pulled with 7 minutes left in that game, and the Rangers put it away into the empty net and get the 4-0 win. Look, the Rangers, this has been a nice little couple of games for them. Now you can quibble about the opponent and the quality, right? Nashville and the New York Islanders. It's not like you beat Carolina, New Jersey, Toronto, any teams like that, but you got to start somewhere, and that's 2 very impressive back-to-back shutout victories for the New York Rangers. 1 registered by Jonathan Quick, 1 registered by Igor Shesterkin. So solid stuff there from the New York Rangers. That's 14 points in 11 games now with the Rangers for JT Miller as well. And meanwhile, you see EP40 skating around like a totem pole in Vancouver doing not a whole lot. So you got to be frustrated watching JT Miller just, play so well for the Rangers. He's happy there. He's back to where he used to be. He's roomies now with Vincent Trocheck, who's a longtime buddy of his. So you can tell he's in a good spot mentally right now, and it's showing on the ice with the way he's playing. A very, very tight game between Tampa and Florida, but still a very entertaining game. A 2-1 win for the Florida Panthers. Another solid performance by Vasilevsky, but this time in a losing cause as Tampa gets shut down. I think Bobrovsky, with the way Vasilevsky, his countrymate, was playing, was almost like, hey, whatever you can do, don't forget about me. And Bobrovsky had a solid effort in net for the Florida Panthers, helping them to that 2-1 victory. And the Florida Panthers, obviously, now because of what happened with Toronto, they're back in first place right now in the Atlantic Division. But that thing with the Florida Panthers, Leafs, and the Lightning is going to go probably right down to the wire as far as the battle for first in that division. The Montreal Canadiens just all over Buffalo early. 3-0, about as hideous a first period as you could ask for from Buffalo. And that's like Montreal thought the game was over, because Buffalo from that point on really took it to Montreal, came all the way back, got the game tied, but a spectacular effort in overtime by Caulfield and in overtime, and Montreal gets the 4-3 win against Buffalo. So Habs and the Habs team total over, which I had. Best bet from Alex was Montreal. They get the job done. Not as easy as we thought it would be, but they do get the win 4-3 in overtime. Toronto falls 3-2 in a shootout to Toronto. to San Jose rather, and Toronto in that game loses for the first time after having a lead after 2 periods. It had been, 30, almost 40 games in a row where Toronto had won after leading after 2 periods. But it's not so much that Toronto, coughed it up. San Jose took it. San Jose played their guts out last night. I can't believe the effort that they gave defensively last night in that game. They're blocking shot. They looked like they were a team battling for their playoff lives. And you kind of heard it from Zetterlund in the post-game interview. He got the shootout winner for San Jose. A lot of Ontario kids. It meant something to play in Toronto. It meant something to at least end the road trip, which has been a difficult one for them, where they battled. They took Montreal to overtime. They were leading in the third period against Ottawa and let that game get away. They said, we've been battling on this road trip, and we feel we've deserved a win in some of these games, and they finally got one last night. So credit to them. Their hard work really showed through as that game went on, especially in the third period. The only thing I'm frustrated about is where was your goal in the first period from San Jose? They waited until the third period, unfortunately, to find the back of the net. But 3-2 San Jose. And then, of course, Chicago, 5-1 against Los Angeles as the road woes continue for the LA Kings. And what a debut and what a welcome to Chicago for Spencer Knight. Absolutely terrific last night, makes over 40 saves. Early in the game when LA was pouncing, he made a series of saves. He's down on his back. He's waving his hands around. He's able to keep the puck out, I think, with a knocking the puck aside. He's just made a lot of great positional saves, really read the play quite well. And you could tell he was dialed in. And, Chicago, I was hoping Chicago would tighten up a little more than they did in front of Spencer. They didn't make it easy on him, but boy, Spencer Knight showed you that, hey, if you're going to give up some high-quality looks, even maybe more than you would like, I'm here for you to maybe bail you out and bail them out. He did last night. Great win for Chicago, 5-1, even though obviously the shot disparity was heavily in favor of LA. And then he got his number one star moment in his Chicago debut, which was great. He did the interview with Panger after the game. What I liked about that interview was he's talking about almost that defiant attitude from him. Like, hey, I'm here to fix this shit. I'm here to get this ship turned around. We're going to be winning sooner rather than later. You just watch and wait. It's going to happen. Great mindset to have. And I think he kind of looks at this opportunity now with Chicago like, I could be the man here in net. There's a very good chance I will be. There's no Bobrovsky, that I got to sit behind now and bide my time and wait for my chance. No, this is my chance. It's right here. It's right now. In front of me. And he kind of talked with that aura when he was talking to Darren Pang after the game last night, which I think was great things to hear if you're a Chicago Blackhawks fan. Aren't I right, Alex?
Absolutely. Last night was a tremendous game to watch. And in the grand scheme of things in the standings, it means absolutely nothing. But as far as building confidence with these young guys in this locker room, the guys who are going to be wearing this sweater next year and beyond, it's huge. It's a humongous boost to finally now. And like I said, yes, the defense needs to get better. But at the same time, this is what this season's about. We were talking about it before we got on the air. What Anders Sorensen has done and what you have to give him high praise for throughout this year is opening this game up for these kids, letting these guys make mistakes on the fly, learn, it's on-site training, and that's tough to watch as a fan, and it's tough to go through as a player, I'm sure. But like you said, to have these moments now, you make these mistakes and then you move on and grow from them. But to now have a goalie that you can truly have confidence in, and the leaps and bounds that Arvid Soderblom made to even be the quality, number 2 option in the NHL is massive. And I'm sure that the team has built a lot of trust and confidence with him over that time. But to now have somebody who's a bona fide number 1 guy, a guy who can shut down and take a game. Okay, that was a stolen game for the Hawks. Okay, even though the 5 goals, but like I said, 42, 43 shots against some other teams, you're probably talking about a 7-5 loss like we saw the other night in Vegas. But having a goalie that can make big time saves, that can withstand that kind of pressure, that builds confidence for everybody moving forward and builds confidence for games moving forward. So it's a fantastic thing to see. If you're a Hawks fan, you got to be happy so far. It's only 1 game, of course, but what a hell of a start for number 30, Spencer Knight.
And I'm sure they are thrilled back home, family and friends in Darien, Connecticut, the home of Spencer Knight, after that performance last night for him in his debut. And like I said, I'm excited to see what comes of him. Now, like I said, there's going to be nights when they allow 40 shots and maybe it won't go quite as well for him. But
Sure.
He's going to be certainly in that position where he's going to give them a shot with that kind of goaltending most nights, where there could be a mistake, there could be a turnover, there could be a time where you're hemmed in, and 3-4 times a game like Chicago. Unfortunately, they often are, and your goalie is there to bail you out and give you that opportunity to at least keep you in the game. And that's something that obviously they haven't had with the consistency. And I know they're talking the talk about 3 goalies. We're going to keep the 3 goalies for now. I think that's bullshit. I think that they got to probably make some kind of play here before Friday to get down to 2 goalies, and we'll see what that is. They'd like to move Mrazek, but good luck with that with a guy that's struggling and has got injuries galore.
Yeah, but you got a bunch of other teams that have, bad options in goal that they need something. They need a change of scenery. And Mrazek at least is the veteran option. He's a guy who's had playoff experience who you can count on if you're trying to pluck the 2. If you're looking longer term, maybe you try to make a deal for a Soderblom who's going to be on RFA next year. But you'd have to throw the Hawks a lot in return to get that. But Mrazek, like you said, if he's just going to sit around, and he's a guy who you can certainly have. So Detroit could call him and certainly use him. He's a hell of an upgrade to Alex Lyon and probably an upgrade at times to Cam Talbot. So there's a few teams that certainly could use Mrazek's services outside of the west side of Chicago.
Yeah, no doubt. It'll be interesting to see what Chicago does, because I'll tell you right now, I do not see them keeping 3 goalies up there. Obviously, beyond Friday, there's no question about that. We also had a trade earlier today before we get to Tuesday's card. And we'll talk about it right now.
This is breaking news from the Ice Guys.
And that breaking news and breaking trade earlier today is Trent Frederick on his way to the Edmonton Oilers. And I'm telling you what, this is a player that will be very useful for this Edmonton team. An Edmonton team that's kind of had some struggles here after the 4 Nations break, although they did wrap up the road trip in the win column against Carolina. And yes, Trent Frederick is going to slot in their bottom 6. He's got the potential to give them a little bit of offense as well. But more importantly, physicality, great on the forecheck, be able to maybe get to the blue paint area right in front of the goalie and get some of those, cause havoc in front of the net. That's what you need in the Stanley Cup playoffs if you're going to make on a run. So I like the move, actually, for the Edmonton Oilers. It was a 3-way deal with them, Boston, and the New Jersey Devils were also involved in that trade. So like I said, a guy that, played very hard for Boston, and that's pretty much the signal now that Boston's in the seller's market. There's no question. Don Sweeney, I think, declared his status, if you will. And if you're wondering why there hasn't been a flurry of trades yet, it's because there's so many teams, Alex, that are on that playoff periphery right now, that are just outside looking in, and they are waiting until the last possible moment, as in Thursday into Friday, to declare, okay, are we going for a playoff spot, or are we going to maybe sell and look more toward next year? And if we get in, so be it. But we're not going to mortgage the future to try to get in this year. There's a lot of teams that have not declared their buy or sell status, and as a result, a lot of these trades are in limbo until that happens. That's why you won't see a lot of stuff done, Alex, till probably Thursday, late Thursday, and we might have more Friday deals, deadline day deals than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was on SportsX Radio with Ken Thompson last night. Kind of alluded to that, where there's so many teams who feel like they're on the fence, and the fact that we had the break pushed into a later part of February, so now you've had this condensed time to realize, hey, are you in or out? And there's a lot of teams that are, like I said, playing chicken right to the very second. Boston is one of those teams that should have realized that a little sooner, in my opinion. But okay, no time like the present. There's a couple other teams there. I think even with the New York Rangers win, in my opinion, that's a team that really could be on that seller's block as well. But like I said, as we see teams kind of realize their fate, or at least accept the realization of their fate, that's when we start to see the moves. And this could be actually a deadline day that's busy. We've had years where the deadline day has been quiet because all the trades are made throughout the week. I think this is kind of the quiet before the storm. I think we might actually have some real action all day on Fridays. Looking forward to it.
No doubt. And like I said, we will be on at 2 p.m. Eastern, our usual time on Friday, and we're talking right before the deadline when we're on the air. So I'm sure we'll be that breaking news bumper. You're
going to hear that a lot.
Yeah. You're going to hear that quite a bit, which is a good bumper. I don't mind hearing it. It's great. Yeah. All right. You know what's great? Hopefully our picks for this Tuesday. So with that in mind, let's get into it. We've got Calgary, Philadelphia, the Flyers -140, -145 home favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. Give me Calgary team total under 2.5. That's the bet I made in this game. I mean, I certainly have a lean to the Flyers at -145, but this is one of those deals here. Hey, if we like the price on the team total rather than the money line on the favorite, we talk about this with the overs with the team total. Why not flip it this time around and maybe look in that direction with the under? But Calgary's not scoring right now. That's a real problem for them at this point in time. We've seen, obviously, them get shut out in back-to-back games and then muster just one power play goal to avoid a third straight shutout in their loss to the Carolina Hurricanes. So there's no doubt goals have been hard to come by lately for this Calgary Flames team. And I think that's probably the approach that I like a little bit more here in this game. Samuel Ersson is in net for Philadelphia. He's been better lately. There's no question. Of course, though, it was Fedotov, tip of the cap to him, who had the great start Saturday night with the Flyers getting the shootout win there against the Winnipeg Jets in that game. We do expect Dustin Wolf, hungry like the wolf, Dustin Wolf in net here for the Calgary Flames, but not confirmed as of yet. I just find that in this matchup here, Flames and Flyers, until Calgary scores, I'm okay betting their team total under. And it's actually something that now that I've seen this continue for 3 games, could it change? Yes. But I think what I like about the Flyers here is the way they play defense here at home. The 2 games against Pittsburgh, I know they had the game that they blew the lead in Pittsburgh, but at home, they won 3-2 against Pittsburgh. They won 6-3 against Edmonton. And Edmonton, obviously, we trust their offense more than Calgary. 6-1 against Pittsburgh in the rematch, in another game in Philly against the Penguins. And look what they did against the Jets, held them to 1 goal. A very good Winnipeg team on Saturday night. So to me, the Flames team total under is in play here. And it's I lean Flyers. I prefer the team. I find that if Philly wins this game, there's a chance it's a 3-1, 3-2, 4-2 type of game with Calgary's offensive woes at this point in time. Alex, what do you think here? Flames, Flyers.
I haven't moved on anything in this game, and I don't know why I'm hesitating even toward draw, because that seems like the most likely. Except, especially for Calgary, you need all the points you can. You're not getting much on offense, so you got to almost play defense first. However that can work out, and that's usually would lead into a lower scoring kind of a draw type game. But like I said, this is a spot where, because Philly is just a team that just really, I don't know, they bug me. This could be the spot where Calgary maybe wakes up and gets some offense rolling too. So I'm staying off of this now. This is one I'll just watch, and if I see something pop up, I'll bet it live. I'll put it in the Patreon chat. But right now, I'm just staying off everything.
Yeah, they're playing well at home. Philly, they've won 3 straight home games entering tonight. So it's been solid from them. We'll see if that continues here tonight in this game.
Frost returning home, of course. That
Yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of great props here. Now, I don't think it's going to be a shootout here. I actually lean under, but you still got to look at Morgan Frost, Joel Farabee, probably for Calgary. Not that they're scoring a lot lately, so be careful with this. This team has scored 1 goal in 3 games. It's not like
I was going to say
the farm on these props, but Frost and Farabee makes sense. Kuzmenko for Philly going up against Calgary for the first time makes sense as well.
If you had to pick between Frost or Farabee tonight to back, which of the Frost?
I prefer Frost. A little more off, a little more high-end finish, I guess you could say, with Morgan Frost compared to Farabee. They're both worth a look. The former team angle. They're both going back to Philly too, which I think is more significant than if this game was in Calgary.
Right.
When you make that return to where you used to play, which they'll be doing here, that's definitely where you can see the
full tribute videos here. No, nothing
sure
goofy. This is full tributes, actual applause. Deserve it too, because Frost did a lot there in Philly. So.
Frost did a lot, and Farabee as well. Farabee was there even
Farabee
longer, I believe, than Morgan Frost with the Flyers. So no doubt the tribute videos, unlike certain other times, they will be deserved here for the 2 former Philadelphia Flyers, making their return to Philly tonight as members of the Calgary Flames. All right, next up, we've got Nashville and Boston. Bruins -130 home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. There's not a chance in hell I'm taking Nashville. So I can tell you this right now, you either lay it with Boston or you pass, and I have no problem preferring passing as far as the side goes in this game, especially now that we see Don Sweeney kind of in sell mode here right now for the Boston Bruins. And plus you look at Boston, shut out by Minnesota, 1-0, escape barely against a pretty bad Pittsburgh team. Marchand is still out, and it's now going to be a longer absence for him. Week to week now is what we're looking at for him. Still without Lindholm and McAvoy on the blue line. But at the same point in time, you want to back a Nashville team that is off a 4-0 shutout loss to the Rangers and a 7-4 loss to the Islanders? Not a chance. This is either bet Bruins or you pass. I feel better passing. This is supposed to be a system play, but I don't love it. I'll be the first to admit that. But both of these teams are off a shutout loss, which says should be betting the system play. You should be looking at first period over, full game over. And I am betting that, but I'm sprinkling. I don't feel great about it. Because of what we're seeing or not seeing offensively from either the Preds or the Bruins right now. Just not a lot of weaponry in these two teams. So we're going to go with an over by Fecta, but please, small. Keep it light. Even though it is the system play, I'm not fully trusting it here tonight. Alex, Predators, Bruins.
I might lean with something live on Nashville. If anything, the Predators still have guys that might be playing to kind of showcase themselves to get moved before Friday. That's the only kind of angle I could even find between the two. Because both, if this game takes place Saturday or after the deadline, this is a complete pass. But I could maybe see Nashville having a couple guys who might step up and show out just because they know they're trying to get moved somewhere else. So that if I look for that, it'll be live, but nothing pregame on this one either.
Yeah, no question. That's definitely a good thing. Like I said, the system play here, because and plus it's both teams, right? It's both teams off a shutout loss. And I remember seeing this before, and they've been strong. The both teams off a shutout loss has been strong with the first period over, the gift, and the full game over. So I'm going on that, but it's not like you can put your life on the line trusting these two teams to score goals in bunches right now. So that's the fear you have here as far as the stance here with the over by Fecta. But I'm on it. I am on the over by Fecta here, although albeit for a little bit of a smaller amount. We expect Swayman and Saros to be the goaltenders here. It is confirmed that it is Swayman. Saros not yet, but I would be surprised if it's not him in goal for Nashville. All right, Columbus and Tampa Bay. Next up here, we've got Tampa Bay back-to-back for them after a hard-fought, tough loss last night to the Florida Panthers. We've got Tampa Bay minus 160 home favorites in this game. The total here sitting at 6.5. This is definitely dubious spots both ways. Tampa's on a back-to-back. Very hard-fought game with Florida, team they're battling with in the division. They lose 2-1. They're off a loss. They're back home where they've been good, but it is back-to-back. And it's most likely Jonas Johansson who's going to be in net tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning after Vasilevsky got the start last night. Not at all a great spot for Tampa Bay, and not at all a price I'm really looking to lay minus 160. Columbus, I lean in that direction here, but they're coming off the euphoria and just the brilliant display and the brilliant atmosphere and just the wonderful time of it that it was at the outdoor game, the Stadium Series, Saturday night, beating Detroit for the second straight time. They're playing well, but I worry about a little bit of a emotional hangover of sorts for the Jackets going into this matchup here tonight. Now, the difference is Columbus does have a significant rest advantage on their side for this game. They've been off since Saturday, back-to-back here for this Lightning team. So Columbus does have that advantage. Columbus playing well, 4 straight wins entering this game against Chicago and Dallas, both at home. Detroit on the road, and then quote-unquote home game in the Stadium Series, obviously, against Detroit. So it's Columbus or pass. I'm waiting for the lineups. I'm waiting for the goaltenders. If it is Johansson, I will sprinkle on Jackets. I like Jackets team total over 2.5. You can get 2.5 at around minus 145. That makes sense to me. I think the Jackets can find their way to 3 goals. Jackets certainly lately have had no problem scoring 3 goals. In fact, they have scored 3+, this Jackets team, in 7 of their last 9 games. So they have definitely not had problems doing that. So it's definitely a Jackets money line and their team total over lean. I'm probably going to move on these if it's Johansson in net. I definitely like full game over as well, 6.5 here. I think the first period over, I'm passing on that, but because the full game over is where it's been at with these two teams. We have seen 3 straight full game overs, 5-2, 7-6, 5-3, the final scores in those games. I know Tampa's been trending under 4 straight. Those were all Vasilevsky starts. Those were all games he played absolutely phenomenal and outstanding in net. And right now, and this is not a slight on Johansson, who can come in there and play well. I've actually seen Johansson play well, at times this year, but he's erratic. You don't always get that. And right now, with Vasilevsky's level of play being where it is, there is a bigger drop-off, a bigger gap right now between him and Johansson. It's that simple based on where Vasilevsky's played and his level since the Four Nations break. So I'm on the over 6.5 for sure. And like I said, definitely probably going to lock in Columbus money line / team total over split once we find out likely that it will not be Andrei Vasilevsky in net tonight for the Lightning here in this one. The only concern is Columbus has not been as good on the road. But I think here in this spot here, it's a dubious one for Tampa on a back-to-back. Alex, what do you think here? Columbus, Tampa Bay.
Ian, you really are truly one of the genuinely the nicest people that I know. For sure, because there's always been a humongous drop off between Andrei Vasilevsky and Jonas Johansson, and he's trying to make it seem as if he's somewhat serviceable.
He's been marginally better this year, is what I'm talking about with Johansson.
But he's had good games. Yeah,
he's
had good games, but and now that Vasilevsky is back to A tier, there's a wide gap. So with that said, I'm already on over 6.5. -120. Even if you run Vasilevsky back for a second game, okay, we're still talking about two teams that have some good offense, especially in Columbus, the way they played right now. But if it is Johansson confirmed, which we are kind of expecting, I will also be on Columbus +140 as well. Like I said, not looking at that first period over. I could see where maybe this is kind of a slow start, and then we just see the goals kind of explode late in this contest. So over 6.5 for sure. I am on that, but we'll be adding CBJ on the money line if it is Johansson confirmed.
Yeah, and Kent Johnson is a prop that I absolutely like. He's on a roll right now. He's on a big-time point streak, goals and assists. It's been a nice combo of both for him lately. But Kent Johnson's been absolutely terrific for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Any sort of props involving him make a ton of sense right now. Fantilli, same thing. He's been look. If people were worried when Monahan went out, is he ready for this kind of burden here? Adam Fantilli centering the top line. He has responded very impressively for this Columbus Blue Jackets team. So you got to give him credit for that. It's been impressive to see the way he has performed in that role, in that spot. And like I said, the only concern here for me with Columbus would be obviously the situation coming off the outdoor game. But again, the fact that they've got the rest advantage here should help them out quite a bit here. Yeah, Shinikov activated as well. Not that offense has been an issue right now for this Jackets team, but now to see that Shinikov is activated and back in the lineup as well certainly helps. Both Cylinders are on the IR. Monahan's on the IR, and Goodbranson's on the IR still for this team. Elvis Merzlikins is confirmed in net for Columbus. Like I said, we're just waiting on whether Johansson will be in between the pipes here for Tampa Bay tonight. All right, Carolina and Detroit. We've got Carolina -190 to -200 in some spots. Road favorites, 6 the total, shaded to the over here in this game. Freddie Anderson will get the nod in net for Carolina for this matchup. Alex Lyon it gets the start here for the Detroit Red Wings. Red Wings coming off getting swept in the back-to-back home and home by the Columbus Blue Jackets. We'll see if they can bounce back here at home in the pizza box. Carolina, it's been not a great run for them since the Four Nations break, 2-3. They lost on the road to Montreal and Toronto. They beat Buffalo at home, which isn't saying a lot. They lose to Edmonton 3-1 right after that at home, and they barely eked past a offensively challenged Calgary Flames team 2-1 in overtime on Sunday. So there's not a chance in hell I'm taking Carolina here in this road price range. How many times have we got to say Carolina on the road? Bet them at your own risk. They've lost 4 in a row on the road, Carolina. That's not a team I'm interested in as a -220 road favorite when I see that. They lose to Montreal, get shut out. They lose 6-3 at Toronto, 2-1 at Minnesota, 3-0 at Winnipeg. They lose 3-2 in overtime to the Islanders. Their only road win since January 25th. Think about that. And I know there was the break in there, but still, that's a month and a half ago. Their only road win, Carolina, since January 25th was against the Rangers, 4-0. That's it. You know, they lose to the Islanders, the Jets, the Wild, the Leafs, the Habs. And the road record overall is 12-18 for this Carolina Hurricanes team. So I haven't decided if I'm betting Detroit yet, but that's the only way I could play it at this price. Detroit or pass for me. Carolina as well, something to keep in mind here with them is they've given up 10 goals on the road here in the 2 games they've played away from Raleigh coming out of the Four Nations break. The 6th spot that they allowed to the Toronto Maple Leafs, the 4th spot they allowed to Montreal. this could be a first period over. And a lot of those goals were early in the games. Carolina-Toronto was a goal-scoring explosion in the opening period. I think Carolina-Montreal as well. Montreal jumped on them early, and there were a lot of goals early in that hockey game. So I don't know about the 6.5 in some spots, but certainly the over 1.5 first period. I do like that here for the Hurricanes and the Red Wings. Alex, what do you think here in this one? Maybe the draw too, because I'm just looking at it now with these two teams. Detroit's been a overtime shootout team a lot in their last 10 games. Saw Carolina obviously play overtime with Calgary the other day, so this could be a draw candidate possibly. Yes, they're both in the East, but they're both in their own kind of battles, if you will, as far as positioning. Alex, what do you think here, Hurricanes, Red Wings?
Yeah, it is a draw season spot. They're not in each other's way, but both needing points. It doesn't really ring out for me in my kind of listing of playing. I don't know if I'm going to add this to my list as a draw, but I do like first period and full game overs in game. So not laying 140, I'm seeing 148 at FanDuel. That's kind of a high price. So get that down to about 125. Wait a couple minutes, jump into that, try and get a 5.5, laying a price as well. But I do think we can see goals back and forth. There's a bargain bin spot I like from the Red Wings here, and I am on the Red Wings money line. I did grab them once it got up to, I saw a plus 180 at BetMGM, and then that came down, but I've seen 160s floating around. So 160 or higher, that's a buy point for me on Detroit. I just don't trust Carolina. And home or road, when we start talking about these favorite ranges, they get a little dicey. And obviously, like I said, Wings at home, certainly a team worth backing, especially as a dog. Ian, you muted.
There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just waiting on lineups. Kind of like the Columbus Tampa game. I'm pretty sure I'll be on Columbus. I'm pretty sure I'll have something on Detroit. I'm just waiting a little bit longer to see what the lineup situation shakes out to be in this one. Prop wise, there are some props that I am interested in here with Carolina and Tampa. I mean, when you look at DeBrincat, I mean, he's got goals in 4 of the last 5, 6 of the last 10 games. He's certainly been on a roll. You still get plus 200 on him to score right now as well. So he's certainly been red hot. Aho is starting to heat up as well at this point in time for the Carolina Hurricanes. No question, something to keep in mind there as well. As far as just regular points props that you might be interested in, again, DeBrincat, 9 of the last 10, he's registered a point. That's very impressive, no doubt. Aho, of course, 7 of the last 10 for him. You look at finally Mikko Rantanen chipping in just a little bit for this Carolina team of late. So there's a couple to keep in mind here as far as players starting to heat up a little bit. The ghost, Shane Gostisbehere, as Robert mentions, he's got a point in 4 of the last 10 games and a point in 3 of the last 5 here for Carolina entering tonight. And again, this is a guy that's going to play some power play time for Carolina. So something to keep in mind here for them going forward. Yes, it is, I believe, dad's trip for Carolina. Yes. And normally I don't like betting against that. But when you're talking about betting against that at a minus 220 price, I'm a little bit more okay with it, especially with a team that's been not trustworthy on the road. And that has been certainly Carolina here of late. All right, San Jose and Buffalo. This is back-to-back for the Sharks after a big-time road win last night in Toronto, and now they finished. I believe this is finally the very end of the long road trip here for them in the East Coast, taking on Buffalo. Buffalo minus 220, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. This is one of these deals where at the prices you're looking at here, you cannot lay minus 220 with Buffalo. That being said, that was such a celebration from the San Jose Sharks after beating Toronto last night that I'm not sure I'm really ready to trust them here at the, it's not the end of this road trip. They actually isn't that stupid? You make one stop in Colorado on Thursday, and then you finally go home, this San Jose team. So that's just ludicrous to me. Why can't they just go home right after this Buffalo game? But no, got to stop in at Colorado on Thursday, and then you finally get to go home. But it's back-to-back. That was a hard-working effort, hard-trying effort from San Jose last night in that game. And I think it's a horrible spot for San Jose, but it's but at the counter to that is how anyone is in their right mind laying minus 220 right now with the Buffalo Sabres, knowing that, they made a little push there, but now reality is setting in, no playoffs. they're going to be looking at probably making some deals here at the deadline. We do expect it'll be Vitek Vanacek after Georgiev got the start last night. Should be Vitek Vanacek tonight. Ukko Pekka-Luukkonen, projected, not confirmed yet for Buffalo, but we'll have to see about that because it is back-to-back for them. It is worth noting that, Vanacek had that pretty good effort against Winnipeg, I remember, where they took the Jets to OT. He gave up 4 goals, though, in the loss to Ottawa on Saturday. I'll be honest, this is just a pass for me right now. Don't really want to get involved here with either of these teams. And, on a normal circumstance, if you took San Jose out of being on a back-to-back and off a, intense, hard-fought win like last night, maybe you could talk me into taking San Jose here, but I am just worried about this back-to-back for them. They really emptied the tank last night, and even a team like Buffalo could take advantage here in this one. And yeah, that's UPL last night, or Reimer last night. That was a rough goal to give up there, obviously in overtime for him. But like I said, when you look at this Buffalo team, their problems just aren't goaltending right now. Problems are effort, defensive accountability. Those issues, which have always been there at times for Buffalo, they're really starting to rear their ugly head once again. And certainly last night, Reimer played okay at times, but the overtime goal was not great at all to give that one up. So for me right now, maybe something live will get involved, but pregame, it'll be a pass here for me. Alex, what do you think here in this one, Sharks Sabres?
Yeah, I'm looking at a team total over live with Buffalo, and maybe we can get that number down. If kind of 5 minutes without scoring, we can get that 3.5 to even money or plus range. Buffalo has dominated the Sharks, and we're talking about this is going years and years back, home and road, all kinds of good and bad teams for both clubs. And of late, we've seen Buffalo been able to put up goals with San Jose. So that's the only thing. I'm not trusting them to win the game. Just give me 3 or 4 goals out of this contest, and I'll look for something live with that team total over for Buffalo. Nothing pregame, just all live.
Yeah, that's not a bad approach here in this game. You would expect San Jose to get a little bit more worn down as the game goes on. There's been a long road trip back-to-back now for them as well. If I were to look at Will Smith Will Smith, man, this kid's playing well, and he's going to be a good player in this league, but we got to blame him for losing that team total in the first period, goal in the first period with San Jose last night. How he missed that wide open net in the first 10 minutes of that game against Toronto last night. It was there and just shanked it wide. Although I do believe if you looked at the replay, Mitch Marner got his stick on it defensively and kind of helped deflect it wide. And I believe so. Not as much blame after watching the replay, but still what a chance that was for Will Smith there early in that game. To give San Jose that first period goal that we were all looking for. But alas, we did not get it. Winnipeg Jets, New York Islanders. We've got the Jets minus 190 road favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. Islanders back-to-back for them. They get blanked by the New York Rangers last night. So this is system play here as well with the Islanders coming off the shutout loss last night. The Jets now back-to-back games held to just 1 goal. Nashville 2-1 loss on the road. Philadelphia 2-1 loss at home in a shootout in that game where obviously Ivan Fedotov played very well for the Flyers in that game. Very well, in fact. Like I said, it was one of his better performances that I've seen in his career. Connor Hellebuck projected in net here for the Jets, not confirmed. But with this being back-to-back, Sorokin was in last night. The youngster, Jakub Skarek, might be the goalie here for the New York Islanders. We have seen him in one starting spot this year, February the 2nd at Florida, and he gave up 5 goals on 32 shots. Not exactly a great debut for him with the New York Islanders. So this to me here with the Islanders is I'm going to go over by Fecta here, over 1.5, over 5.5. I'm also going to go Winnipeg first period puck line to jump on the Islanders and this young goalie who's hasn't looked ready, NHL ready. Jump on him early. They're off a loss too to Philly. Back-to-back losses, in fact, to Nashville and Philly. So I really like first period puck line here on this Jets team. Kind of get this bad taste out of their mouth. Plus 135, plus 140 is what we're looking at here with the actually plus 155 is what we're looking at here with the first period puck line. And I'm also on Jets team total over 3.5 at plus money here in this game. I know this is the time for remember, this is still a good offensive team when they're on their game. Scheifele and Connor and Ehlers and company. And I know they've been blanked and shut down and 1 goal in each of their last 2 games. This is the spot to come alive here. Islanders on a back-to-back, tired, rest advantage for Winnipeg off 2 losses in a row. A young goalie who does not look NHL ready. So this is pretty substantial here. A lot of bets across the board. First period over, full game over. Jets puck line first period. Jets team total over 3.5. This to me has got to be a get it done spot for Winnipeg against just a down and out Islanders team. Alex, what do you think here? Jets and Islanders.
We are in complete agreement. This is a game where I'd take a unit, split it in 4s, and go right with the same spot. Over by Fecta, team total
That's
over
what I
3.5.
did too. Yep.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
I liked the team total and the over by Fecta, but yeah, now you said with Jets puck line, that definitely makes a lot of sense. And you get plus 150 at Caesars with that price. So shop around for that because I'm seeing anywhere between plus 125 to all the way up to plus 150. So get the best of that number. But first period puck line and team total Winnipeg along with the over by Fecta as well.
Now, the Islanders are 8-2 against Winnipeg, and the Islanders have also won 4 straight here. And this has been a place where the Jets have not had much success, okay? I'm totally aware of that, but I think this is a different circumstance altogether. You see the Islanders kind of on life support right now. Like I said, they beat Nashville and Boston. That doesn't do anything for me. I mean, those 2 teams are both not – I don't think Boston's going to be a playoff team. Nashville's terrible. You know, you cannot give the Islanders too much of an upgrade in their times as far as an upgrade in their play because you beat Nashville 7-4. So, like I said, if you're Winnipeg, you know you haven't had many 3-game losing streaks this year. And you look at this road trip, you've got Philly, Jersey, and Carolina. Philly is tough right now. That's not an easy game, and they just lost to Philly. They got Jersey after that. That's no gimme. Carolina after that, in Carolina where the Hurricanes play their best. That's no gimme. This is the game you got to get if you're the Winnipeg Jets here to start this road trip the right way. All right, next up as we continue along here, we've got New Jersey and Dallas. Looks like we've got Dallas minus 160. Home favorites, 5.5 the total. Give me this over by Fecta here. I mean, this Dallas run has just been tremendous as far as especially the full game over. This is one where I have more on the full game over. Because the full game over for Dallas is 9-1 in their last 10 games. This is a red-hot offensive team, 5-on-5 offense. The power play went 4 for 4 against St. Louis in the 6-3 win, and the power play has scored a remarkable, I'm just tallying up the numbers right now, 12 goals in the last 10 games on the power play for the Dallas Stars. So to say this power play is humming right now, it certainly is. It's been just red hot. And look, the thing with Dallas is they've got not Miro Heiskanen, he's injured, but Thomas Harley filling in well for Miro Heiskanen, chipping in points. Jason Robertson's on a roll. Wyatt Johnston's heating up. Rope Hintz is on a roll, point-wise right now for them. Marchment can score. They don't even have Sagan yet. They got everybody humming at the right time, at the same time right now, this Dallas Stars team. And that's why their offense is lethal. And this is what we thought they could be or capable of being. You know, a team that could be this good offensively because they had all 4 lines that were able to contribute on that side of the puck. And right now you're seeing that to go with that very strong power play. Meanwhile, New Jersey returns from their 4-game road trip. They went 2-2, split the 4 games. They're in the system play as well, being shut out by the Vegas Golden Knights 2-0. On Sunday night to wrap up the road trip. So it's the system play as well to enhance my opinion with these first period full game overlooks in this game. Jacob Markstrom in net for New Jersey. He made his return from that injury against Vegas. Didn't play that bad, but they didn't score for him. And Casey DeSmith will get the start here for Dallas. Not surprising. Figured a rest spot was coming for Jake Ottinger at some point. And yeah, tonight is that night that he will be rested in favor of Casey DeSmith here for the Dallas Stars. No Jack Hughes. Obviously won't play tonight. He is out for at least some period of time. But the good news is he's awaiting these test results. It sounds like it may not be season-ending, the injury he suffered against Vegas, which is a relief to Devils fans. It looks like they may have avoided the worst. when it comes to that injury for Jack Hughes. But he will obviously miss this game here tonight against the Dallas Stars. So, yeah, nothing on the side here, just a first period over, full game over split with Devils and Stars. Alex, New Jersey, Dallas.
Yeah, I love this first period over. I got minus 115 at Caesars. So definitely shop around. I'm seeing some higher prices. So it's climbing up. If you see anything above 130, I'd say wait a couple of minutes and grab it in game. But definitely like in the first period over. So, we had a little run with Dallas a while back. Get that momentum going with that first period over.
Yeah, Dallas had one of those legendary first period overruns. I think it was last season when it happened, and they're starting to
like
24-2.
At the highest point. Yeah. So.
Yep. No question. So I think that's definitely something to look at. I'm not on Dallas. I'm certainly not fading Dallas because they're just on a heater right now, offensively, especially. But I'm not betting New Jersey though, or not betting New Jersey, but I'm not betting on Dallas either. It is bounce back for New Jersey here off the shutout loss, and they've been the thing with New Jersey is they've been good in these. They've been good off a loss. They've been terrible off a win. That's been New Jersey of late. They have alternated wins and losses. I believe 12 straight games now. They have alternated wins and losses. Yeah, you go back to January 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 12 straight games. They've alternated wins and losses. So if you buy into that pattern, bet New Jersey tonight because they're supposed to win. Obviously off a loss, but I'm not gonna. Dallas is just playing too well right now, and offensively they're playing too well that the pattern says to bet New Jersey off a loss, but I'm not going to. Just the overs for me, and lots of good props here, and a lot. Robertson, Hintz. I'm going back to Thomas Harley with whether it's goal, assist, over 1.5 points. He has just been a point-producing machine lately from that back end. He's not scared to jump into the play as well for Dallas. He's been good. I like what Rico's saying about New Jersey as far as because there's no Jack Hughes, there's a little bit of a shakeup where Dawson Mercer now is going to center the second line with Palat and Tatar. So there's some value on our friend from Newfoundland there, Dawson Mercer. We've talked about him quite a bit. I like props for him moving up the lineup tonight for the New Jersey Devils. Like I said, Robertson, Hintz, Stankoven, Duchesne, Marchment, Wyatt Johnston heating up, Harley from the blue line. Take your pick. A lot of good prop options right now for the Dallas Stars and Stefan Nason against the Dallas Stars, the team from his state because he's from Texas. Maybe. Plus,
home.
He's been pretty cold lately. He's been pretty cold lately, Stefan Nason, I must admit. But
nothing wakes you up like home cooking, right?
Yeah, exactly. So. Back to Dallas. So, yeah, why not? +4. I might get in on that. He has been slumping a bit. It's been the biggest slump he's had this season right now for New Jersey, but this could be what gets him going, maybe. A trip back to the great state of Texas here for him tonight, taking on the Dallas Stars. And as Jonathan says, 7 straight goal on the first 10 minutes have cashed for the Dallas Stars as well. So maybe look in that direction. I think it's actually pretty reasonable, the goal in the first 10 minutes in this game. And the reason for that is because the full game total is only 5.5. So when that's the case, often you're going to get a little bit of a cheaper price on the goal in the first 10, which is in that -125, -130 range. So very, very playable price. I'm going to probably bet that, the gift as well, with New Jersey and Dallas. 7 straight, it's -130 right now at Bet365. You can even take a chance to wait a minute or two and get even better than that.
And you can also take a chance and bet each team individually goal in first 10 minutes and get a better price as well.
Yep, and remember, this is a system play game, too, with New Jersey off the shutout loss to Vegas on Sunday. All right, Anaheim, Edmonton. Next game on the slate here. Edmonton -350, home favorites. The total here sitting at 6.5, shaded to the over here in this game. Now, we've been burnt a couple times with this other system play that we've talked about with the big underdog scoring in the first period. San Jose. That's actually San Jose. Those fucking bastards that did it to us twice. The Ottawa game on Saturday and then the Toronto game last night. They didn't score in the first period. But that angle's in play here, which says maybe take a shot with Anaheim scoring in the first period. And Edmonton is off a long road trip. So I could see maybe Edmonton coughing one up early. So I'm going to bet it smaller because this is Anaheim after all. But I am going to take a shot with Ducks to get a goal and get on the board in the first period of this game against the Edmonton Oilers. Very interesting move made with this goaltending tonight by Chris Knobloch, because Calvin Pickard played well against Carolina, very well in that road win to get off the schneid. he's going back to Pickard tonight. No Stuart Skinner. In fact, he's sticking with Calvin Pickard here in this game for the Oilers, rewarding him for a very solid performance in getting Edmonton their first win following the Four Nations break in Carolina on Saturday. So going to give Pickard another start. Pickard was great against Carolina, but let me see him do it again. His numbers are actually not that bad this season, but, let's see him do it again now. Second straight start. And you know what it's like with the marginal goaltender throughout his career, where he's off a great start and doesn't always happen the next time he's in net, the very next game. So that's what I like the most here, is Anaheim to score in the first period. Again, you get it in that minus 115-ish, minus 120 type of price range. For Anaheim, we don't have a goalie confirmation yet, but Gibson is currently projected. He's probably on the trade block too. They'd like to move him before Friday's trade deadline, so it's kind of a showcase for him in this game. That's why I'm not sold on the over here, Alex, because it's a showcase of sorts for Gibson. He actually has been playing a little bit better of late as he tries to show what he can do for any prospective buyers here at the trade deadline. And Pickard did play well against Carolina. It's not like Anaheim's a consistent offensive juggernaut. So I'm not in love with the 6.5. I'm not betting the total either way, but I am on Anaheim to get a goal in the opening 20. Alex, what do you think here? Ducks, Oilers.
Does Anaheim, I know they got Ville Husso the other day, but is he still hurt, or are they carrying 3 goalies?
Let me just take a look here. Let me just see if I can get an update with that. But right now, who, Anaheim?
Yeah, Anaheim.
Yeah, just Gibson and Dostal.
It's just Gibson and Dostal. Okay, so Husto's just okay. So yeah. So then that, like I said, definitely wouldn't be looking at a total there. And I was just wondering if could we see something where if Gibson gets moved or whatever between now and Friday, that a Husso would come in and pop in. So that was just the reason I want that clarification. But yeah, this is a spot where I'm waiting live for everything. If Anaheim first goal, and that might be something, like I said, I'll look to move it. You talk about plus 280, so we're going to get a decent number for Anaheim to score first. But I want to see pace from Anaheim, because we know how Edmonton can get in these spots. Edmonton can come out, score 5 goals, and just sit on it, or they can kind of play around with their food, and all of a sudden it's 2-2 with about 7 minutes left in the game. So this is one where I'm going to tread lightly and just wait live.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. There are some props that are of interest to me. Vetrano's been playing well. Carlson, Gauthier, we've kind of mentioned them as far as guys that have chipped in a little bit lately for Anaheim, no doubt. How about Kookie, lend me Lacombe, Jackson Lacombe with, how about this? Not only a point in 5 straight games, how about goals in back-to-back games from the blue line for Jackson Lacombe of the Anaheim Ducks? So absolutely, why not? And you get a really good price, obviously, on him to find the back of the net here, considering the fact that he's a defenseman. Now he's a top pair defenseman. And obviously, you're going to get better prices as far as goal props on D-men compared to forwards. And right now, you can get Jackson Lacombe as high as plus 900 to find the back of the net tonight for the Anaheim Ducks. Again, he scored in back-to-back games for them. So that's a worthy shot, in my opinion. Given what we've seen from him. I like Adam Henrique here as well. He likes to torture his old teams. We've talked about that. I can't explain it, whether it was him against New Jersey as a member of the Ducks, or him against the Devils or the Ducks, really, since he's been with Edmonton. I find against his old team, he's always interested in making them pay. So plus 550 for Adam Henrique tonight. I don't mind that as far as taking a shot there. That's just something I've noticed, whether it's facing Jersey or Anaheim. This guy is just he's made a killing against his old team in these head-to-head matchups. I'm also interested in Savoy. I like this kid, Matthew Savoy. He's back in the lineup. They took Jeff Skinner, out of the lineup in place of Matthew Savoy. He's a good player. They got him in the McLeod deal with Buffalo. Good prospect. He got a point in his NHL debut against Philadelphia. He's going to be playing with Leon Draisaitl and Arvidsson on the second line tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. And, you can almost accidentally back your way into scoring points or a goal of some kind when you're playing with Leon Draisaitl. So plus 425 goal prop, plus 275 assist prop for Matt Savoy here tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, getting the chance to play alongside Leon Draisaitl on that second line. I think that's worth a look. All right, Pittsburgh Penguins and Colorado Avalanche. We've got Colorado minus 280 home favorites in this game. 6.5 the total across the board. This is just Didn't even have to think twice about it. Didn't even have to give it one single solitary second to think about it. Colorado team total over 3.5 for me. This is just, Pittsburgh can't. You trust Pittsburgh to give up to fewer than 4 goals to anybody right now in the National Hockey League with this Keystone Cops defense of theirs? I mean, it's absolutely embarrassing. I don't want to hear about, they're going to tighten up. They just gave up 6 to Toronto. They've had all season to fucking tighten up the defense, and they still can't do it. They're just a horrible, miserable, awful, embarrassing, pathetic defensive hockey team, period. End of story. Colorado team total over 3.5, -145. Not even an issue to think twice about it. Alex, what do you think here? Pittsburgh, Colorado.
I got to clip this and send this to a friend. Pittsburgh is an unbettable team right now. And but I can't lay even this price with Colorado going over 3.5. So bet MGM. I'll go with the over 4 flat. If we push on 4, so be it. But I'll play that small. But yeah, you can't back Pittsburgh in an altitude against Colorado. Like this game. Although we've seen some crazy games with these two teams, but like I said, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I can't back Pittsburgh here. I can't back Pittsburgh against anybody right now. So it's I have team total at 4 for me or nothing.
If you're going to bet Pittsburgh at all, the one thing you can do, and I'm going to say this for not just perhaps tonight, but moving forward, if you're at all going to bet Pittsburgh, just take their team total over, because the one thing they can do right now halfway decently is score. They do have some offense still. I mean, they have scored 5 in 2 of their last 3 games. Their offense is capable, but this has just been a sieve defensive unit for a long time. It's really all season, but it's been especially bad. Even more so has it been just horrendous for them coming out of the 4 Nations break. They give up the 8 to Washington out of the break, 5 to the Rangers, 6 to the Flyers, 4 to Philly, 6 to Toronto in that barn burner on Sunday. The only time they've given up fewer than 4 was Boston. And Boston, I think, just got a little too cute and comfortable sitting on a 2-0 lead. So, like I said, it's just team total overs against Pittsburgh until proven otherwise right now. That's certainly what I'm interested in. That's the best way to fade them, because the money line, you're not going to get value fading Pittsburgh right now. But the team total is the way to go, because most teams are going to score 4 moving forward, just like they have been lately when they beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. As far as props for this game, there are a few that are of interest. Arturi Lehkonen with McKinnon and Natchez, I'm interested. Drouin is starting to heat up. Keep an eye on this. And there's some chemistry with Middlestat, Big Val Nichushkin, and Drouin. Boy, oh boy, he's been very solid lately. I agree with Jonathan, too. Drouin props are the way to go here. He's starting to really pick it up. He's found that chemistry. He's a streaky guy, but right now he's on 3 points in the last 4 games. He scored against Minnesota in their win against the Wild on Friday night here in Denver. So, like I said, Jonathan Drouin probably worth a look here as well in this game. So those are things I'm interested in. Let me just see what the head-to-head is. I actually am going to sprinkle on the full game over here as well. 3 of the last 4 have gone over. It was a 5-4 Colorado win last time Pittsburgh came here. And then, of course, Colorado beat them 6-2 in Pittsburgh back in December. So I'm going to get in on the full game over here as well with the Penguins and the Avs. But again, I'm just going to go full game here, because Colorado at times, they've had their game start off slow, and then when the altitude hits the legs of the opponent, bam, it's like an explosion later in the game of goals. So we'll get in on the over 6.5 here as well, Penguins and Avs. And then for goaltending, like I said, we're expecting Nedeljkovic in net. And you talk about a guy that's really had a tough time, and it's not all him. They're an awful team in front of him, but he has not been good either. If you watch him play, Alex Nedeljkovic, he's in net tonight. And Scott Wedgwood will get the nod here for Colorado, giving Mackenzie Blackwood a night off. All right, next up, we've got Minnesota and Seattle. Final game of this Tuesday night slate. We've got Seattle -120, home favorites. The total here sitting at -120. Or sorry, -120 is Seattle as a home favorite. The total here sitting at 5.5, pretty much across the board at even money. Here in this one. Seattle, they got themselves a W against Vancouver on Saturday night. We'll see if he can keep it roll. If they can keep it rolling here against Minnesota. This price, when you look at it on the surface, feels like, man, this is pretty good value here on Minnesota. And they're coming off a 1-0 shutout win against Boston. They did lose 3 in a row before that. Gustafsson is confirmed in net, but they're still without Kaprizov. They're still without Joel Eriksson and Jonas Brodin on the back end. Gustafsson confirmed in net. Joey Decord likely will start once again for Seattle, although that's not confirmed as of yet. This is one of those games where it feels like Minnesota is the play, but at the same point in time, I don't think it's a gimme for them. I like the way Seattle played. I like the way Decord played. I'm certainly not betting a side in this game pregame. This is definitely going to be one I'm going to be looking at live here as far as the Wild and the Kraken are concerned. Minnesota, like I said, the offense has kind of run dry here, 2 goals or less in 4 straight games, which isn't that shocking considering who's out of the lineup for them going into this one. You look all of a sudden at, by the way, very interesting series note here is that we've seen actually 3 overs in a row head-to-head with the Wild and the Kraken. 5-2 win in Seattle for Minnesota last February. In April, it was a 4-3 win for Seattle in Minnesota. And then earlier this year in Minnesota, it was a 5-4 win for the Kraken in a shootout. So, like I said, interesting to see how this plays out. Seattle 9-16 off a win is exactly why I'm not taking Seattle here in this game. I don't fully trust Minnesota in this spot. I don't, but especially with the artillery that are out of the lineup. So that's why I'm going to wait for a live bet. I lean full game over, but don't love it. Alex, what do you think here for this final game on this Tuesday night slate? Minnesota, Seattle.
Yeah, it's a late night edible special, so I'll be waiting to bet this one in game. Like I said, kind of see where the pace of play goes. He said overs have been trending, although that game here, that last battle, that 4-3 game, that was at the end of the season. I remember that it was a season finale, and that was a game where it was kind of just completely open. It could have been way more goals than just 7 in that one. So, obviously that's a different situation. We talk about the season finale, but still, this is a team where obviously Minnesota having issues on defense, but they're having issues all offensively as well. So I got to see where their pace is at first before I can make a move on anything here. But I'm leaning toward the overs first period and full game.
Yeah, Perlo, draw. Not the worst draw candidate in the world, this game. Minnesota and Seattle. I could definitely see that being in the cards here with this one. Prop-wise, as far as this game is concerned, much trouble in you, Gus. Gustav Nyquist with Rossi and Boldy. They're going to give him a shot on the top line here tonight, it looks like, in this game. So Johansson, Hartman, Zuccarello, your second line for them. Marcus Foligno, Freddie Gaudreau, and Vinny Hinostroza, third line. Lauko, Shore, Trent in the bottom, the fourth line from Minnesota. For the Seattle Kraken, not much change as far as their lineup configuration is concerned. One thing to point out with them is Brandon Tanev, who's going to play tonight, might be a sneaky longer shot prop of some kind tonight because he's kind of auditioning. His name is being mentioned in a lot of rumblings as far as a trade is concerned before Friday. So keep that in mind. Shane Wright has really become a point producer lately. You got Wright with 2 points, both assists against Vancouver. He has now collected at least 1 point for the Seattle Kraken in 5 of the last 7 games. A couple of goals during that span as well. 4 goals for him in the last 7. So whether it's goal prop, assist prop, point prop, Shane Wright is starting to make his presence known here with this Seattle Kraken team. And it's a testament to his perseverance. Like, people had basically thrown him into the dumpster, because of how slowly he developed with how highly he was picked in the first round. But we're starting to see him come around. I mean, you're getting some good prices. Plus 420 for a goal, plus 210 for an assist for a guy that's really, putting up the points like Shane Wright has been lately for the Kraken. So those are some good values there for his props tonight. Plus 425, plus 210 as far as goal and assist Shane Wright with how he's been producing lately. I like taking shots with both of those, quite honestly. Those are good prices with what we've seen from him of late. Good stuff. Great Tuesday breakdown. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. A reminder, 2 nights from now, Thursday night, this Thursday, March 6th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It is our Patreon exclusive live betcast, 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you join us for that. Again, this one is Patreon exclusive, which means you must be a Patreon member and subscriber to join us on the betcast and to tune in to the betcast live on Thursday night. And to do that, Just go to patreon.com/iceguys, $10 per month. You'll have access to our exclusive live betcast Thursday night, as well as, of course, our daily totals charts, goalie charts, sides, totals, player props, betting card posted each and every day on the Patreon page as well. All that and more. We've got lots of betcasts coming. Both of our betcasts in March are Patreon exclusive. So the only way to join us for them is to become a member. So get to that Patreon page. If you aren't a member already, it's just $10 per month. And your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show. So make sure you sign up. $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys.
Also, check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We've got all kind of new merch in the store. The new hoodies and T-shirts that we launched yesterday are super cool. I'm actually going to grab one of those once I log off myself. We've also got a coupon code that will be active on Thursday. So between the daily show and the betcast, that'll be the perfect time to maybe shop and also save at the Ice Guys store. That's iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right, make sure you check out that Ice Guys store. Tons of great gear and merch. All right, we got Bargain Bin Special of the night and Best Bets coming up in just a moment, right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Support for the Ice Guys podcast is provided by Boston Hemp Incorporated, Tailgater Social, and a big thank you to all that subscribe to the Ice Guys Patreon page. Everyone loves a perfect pair. Bacon and eggs. Thunder and lightning. Mario and Luigi. A hot dog with fries. Ian and Alex B. That's right. Everyone loves a perfect pair. So why not pair up your game nights with Boston Hemp? From exotic flower to concentrates and edible products. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better pairing than Boston Hemp and hockey. Check them out today at bostonhempinc.com. That's bostonhempinc.com. Boston Hemp Incorporated, the official smoke sponsor of the Ice Guys. Void where prohibited by law. Not available outside of the United States. Must be 21 or over to obtain products. Check your local regulations to see if Boston Hemp is available in your area.
Shout out to all our great sponsors, including Boston Hemp Inc. Get 20% off all orders on the website using the promo code IceGuys at bostonhempinc.com. All right, Bargain Bin Special of the night, and I'm looking for a 3-day, I should say, winning streak with the Bargain Bin Special of the night. We had Dylan Holloway Sunday night for St. Louis. We had Shane Parlay Pinto last night for Ottawa. See if we can make it 3 straight days with a Bargain Bin Special winner. Alex, we'll start with you. Bargain Bin Special, what do you like?
Yeah, let's head out to the Motor City. You got Carolina and Detroit doing some battle. Looking at Alex DeBrincat, he has been scorching hot of late. He said, had the goals and assists in a big way during that Stadium Series game. I'm looking for him to get 2 or more points. Plus 340 is available at FanDuel. Actually, the number has come down from 350 where it was earlier. But plus 340 is still a worthy bargain bin price for Alex DeBrincat to get 2 points or more for the Detroit Red Wings tonight. That is my Tuesday bargain bin special.
There you go, Alex DeBrincat for the Detroit Red Wings. He has been on an absolute heater of late. There's no question about that. Over 1.5 points for Alex B. Smith with his Bargain Bin Special of the night. I'm going to go for a big shot tonight as far as Bargain Bin Special is concerned because he's got goals in back-to-back games. Gosh, I'm hoping I'm not a day late and a dollar short on this one. But at plus 900, Kooky, lend me your Lacombe. Jackson Lacombe for the Anaheim Ducks, plus 900. Let's roll with that and take a deep shot here with Jackson Lacombe for Anaheim, plus 900 as he looks for his 3rd straight It makes sense, doesn't it? He's looking for his third straight game with a goal. I'm looking for my third straight day with a bargain bin special winner. So why not?
That's called
put
synergy.
The two together. Synergy. Yeah. Jackson Lacombe, Anaheim, plus 900 for my bargain bin special of the night. All right, best bets for this Tuesday. Alex, best bet. What do you like?
Yeah, let's head down to Big D. You got Dallas taking on the New Jersey Devils, and we're going with that first period over 1.5. You get minus 115 over at Caesars. It's my Tuesday best bet. Devil Stars, first period over.
And yes, that red hot machine that is the Dallas Stars offense right now. See if it can continue to churn out the goals in bunches tonight. New Jersey, Dallas, first period over 1.5 for Alex B. Smith with his best bet for this Tuesday NHL card. My best bet for this Tuesday NHL card, I'm trying to think about how to go about this because I like this team a lot in this spot tonight to bounce back. I'm going to go with the team total, though, for them. Winnipeg Jets over 3.5 team total. I think they beat the Islanders. I think it's a bounce-back spot of epic proportions off back-to-back losses. They will not take the Islanders lightly. The Islanders, of course, with a goalie in Skarek that gave up 5 in his NHL debut. I think definitely the Winnipeg Jets are capable of 4 goals here tonight, and we will go with that for best bet. Winnipeg Jets team total over 3.5 plus 110. We will roll with that for my best bet here for this Tuesday NHL card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. And again, tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll be back with you once again. And a reminder again, Patreon exclusive live betcast Thursday night. So make sure you become a Patreon member before then to join us for the betcast. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We're back with you Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.